welcome back. It's Star Wars Minute. It's the daily podcast where we analyze, scrutinize, and celebrate the Star Wars movies 1 minute at a time. I'm Pete the Retailer from PeteTheRetailer.com.
I'm Alex Robinson from AlexRobinson.fun.
And I'm Tony Thaxton, and I'm going to change it up yet again and tell you I also play drums in a band called Don't Stop or We'll Die, and I produce a podcast for them called Song a Week, when they write a new song every week, and I also play drums on that as well. So there you go.
Double duty. Yeah, I recommend checking out Don't Stop or We'll Die. If you like this show, you probably would like that band.
Yeah,
not you. I'm not telling you, Tony. You check out the band because you're in the band. But
well, I was a fan before I started playing with them. So, and yeah, former guest Paul Rust is
that's right.
Band member. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And well, thank you for taking time out from your busy schedule of podcasting and musicking
My pleasure.
Come talk with us about minute 84 of Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. 84 starts with Yoda getting on Luke's case again, man. He won't leave that guy alone. And then it ends with just, Luke and Yoda just chilling by the fire. I think that, they resolved their differences and they're just, they're just hanging out, being bros.
Well, reminded them of their old times together on Tatooine. On Dagobah, excuse me.
Imagine Yoda on Tatooine.
Oh, so dry. Speaking of Yoda, is Luke...
Darth Vader, my father.
Is Luke the only, I guess, original trilogy character to interact with Yoda? I guess technically Obi-Wan.
Once again, I'm going to steal your question and say...
change it to something else?
Yeah. And say, what's your favorite color? No, I'm gonna steal that question because that was in my notes. The notes that I had from yesterday that I moved into today said, what started from, maybe I would like to have seen Montana. No, I would like to have seen a Yoda and Rey scene because I feel like she would find him adorable and they would work well together. But then I thought, well, would Rey see Yoda if he was here? Are these Force ghosts just figments of Luke's imagination, essentially? Are they just available to Luke?
It's tough because the only Force ghosts we ever see are we're basically seeing them. Luke is the only one we ever see Force ghosts, right?
That's what I'm trying to think of.
I mean,
does Leia see a Force ghost?
No.
She is a Force ghost, but I think Rey, I guess, sees them at the end.
At the end, but that could just be like she's remembering, imagining.
Yeah,
or she has the same madness that Luke had. She calls herself She calls herself Rey Skywalker. She's clearly losing her marbles.
They also don't look all that Force ghosty in that moment. They look more just ghosty.
Ghosty.
Do you think real ghosts also exist in the Star Wars universe?
Ooh.
Wait, was that your ghost impersonation?
Ooh.
The monster mash.
Yeah, no one ever does. Yeah, so you're asking if only do you think Luke specifically is the only one that can see these Force ghosts because you think he's imagining it? Is that what you're saying, or do you think it's a Jedi thing, possibly?
I
don't know. I mean, well, specifically are these?
Well, I guess Yoda technically sees Obi-Wan when he was alive. When Yoda was alive, and he could see Obi-Wan Kenobi's ghost. Even when Luke wasn't there, because when they show Luke leaves and Yoda says there is another.
Yeah.
Right.
And all that stuff. So.
All right.
Although by that point, does the Obi-Wan ghost fade away and you only hear the voice saying that boy is our last hope?
Yeah, but
that also might be like, well, now that Luke's not here, I don't need to put the effort into being anything other than a voice.
I can take my clothes off, my ghost clothes.
Yeah, a lot of unanswered questions about Force ghosts still remain.
Remember, Obi-Wan did die naked, so.
Well, yeah, I guess technically.
That's true.
So did Yoda, for that matter.
Yeah, why do the robes stay there, but then when they come back as a ghost, they're wearing the robes?
I think
just to make us more comfortable.
I think, well, I was going to say that I think the way you see a Force ghost is impacted by your perception of the person. Which is why, like, when Yoda shows up at the end of, but that doesn't make sense because Yoda shows up at the end of Return of the Jedi. Him and Obi-Wan are still old the way Luke remembered them, but Anakin is, you know, 32 years old or whatever. He's supposed to be 30.
Right. Which, again, that was in the Droid Tales cartoon at the end. He's like Obi-Wan, Yoda, some other guy.
Yeah. Questions still remain about Force ghosts.
Oh yeah,
hopefully they will be explored ad nauseum until we know way too much about Force ghosts.
Right.
And what we know will annoy us.
Yeah. Yeah, because would Luke have ever seen a photograph of young Anakin? Do photographs exist?
A hologram, maybe.
Yeah, hologram.
They do have
I'm sure he watched that hologram of Anakin killing the young ones.
Right.
Killing the young ones.
Mala has like a Sears portrait studio picture of Chewie in the holiday special.
Right. So yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Photographs exist.
Yeah, so yeah, I do like the idea that that Yoda is like. I do think it's convenient that Yoda waited until Rey left before he showed up. Like he easily could have showed up and
he's a regular Snuffleupagus.
Or yeah, like the Great Gazoo. Like it's this little green guy who shows up and no one else believes
that's more on target.
Yeah.
Great Gazoo.
More on target.
You beat me. I was swallowing my drink.
You never drink during a podcast. You know that. It's the sheer rule.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is where we get another doctrinally complicated thing where Yoda clocks Luke in the face with a stick. His stick.
His stick. It's better than bacon.
And so now we have a Force ghost interacting with the physical world.
Again, if it's real, if it's just a figment of Luke's imagination, or a facet of Luke's imagination, rather. Or the Force kind of, if it's just what he's imagining, then it's him, it's like when you think you're falling in a dream and you shake, you know what I mean? You shake.
So if Chewie was watching this from far away, he would just see Luke like flinching, like he got hit in the face, even though there was nothing there.
Right.
Or is the stick real? Or is the stick also part of Ghost Yoda?
It's the ghost of his stick.
Ghost stick. Coming this fall to ABC.
Oh, my love, my darling.
Is it a new Gimmer stick taken from the Marty Jannetty tree over there? Like, is that like in a way that much like exactly what he's saying with or is it in tomorrow? It goes until, based on what he says tomorrow, it would be fitting for him to take a shard of that tree and give it new life.
I'm sorry. Will you please refresh? I know that you've said this, but I can't. I'm giggling now because I cannot remember what the deal with the Marty Jannetty tree is.
I also cannot remember why it's that, but it is that.
All right, fair enough.
Let's see. The Last Jedi tree. Tree library. Oh, right. It's the tree library was a reading chamber within the hollowed out trunk of a Uneti tree.
A Uneti tree.
Yeah. And somehow, I think when talking to Chris Radke, that became the Marty Jannetty tree.
All right. Like, once again, asked and answered.
So I think the Yoda's stick, not only is it better than bacon, it's Marty Jannetty.
I will say I don't remember which day I had this note for, and now I don't see it on either of my 2 remaining days.
It's like, how did they get away from the tractor beam?
What if when Yoda hit him with the stick, Luke flies through the barbershop window? Then
oh, there you go.
That was only for Pete and maybe a couple listeners.
A couple of Radke will appreciate that. Adam will appreciate that. There's Well, this I thought you were going to say not only the stick hitting, but this minute also contains a line, which is it's not in the trailer, but it is a quotable line in that the greatest teacher failure is.
Yes.
Which I think is deep, and it's an important thing for Luke. I feel like the time to tell Luke all this would have been while Rey was still here, and he could actually talk to her about things. Like, all these lessons are important lessons for Luke to learn, yes, but also, like, it would have helped if Yoda had shown up, you know, before Rey got there, because he can see the future and being like, oh, hey, there's a girl coming. Don't forget, the greatest teacher failure is, all right? Love you. See ya. You know, or like, you know, telling him, you know, after she's the first time that he denies, says like, no, I'm not going to train you. Then Yoda show up and be like, hey, Luke, tell you that girl's our last hope.
Well, maybe, hear me out.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Luke is thinking, oh, I failed, you know, at this thing. And maybe Yoda knows that even though Luke technically failed, that this is the way things are this is the way it's meant to be. Like, Rey has her own destiny. Like, Yoda showing up would have probably cemented or at least influenced whether or not Luke would take her on as a teacher, but maybe that's not what was, you know, meant to happen. And this is, if the Jedi are in fact to end, maybe it's time to not have master-teacher relationships like that anymore, and just, you know, everyone's on their own from now on. I don't know. I found Yoda's, I remember thinking the first time I saw it in the theater, I found Yoda's little lecture here. I found it embarrassingly moving. And I think part of it is just because, like, the Jedi are such hard asses about, like, well, you broke the rules, now forever dominate your destiny. Like, it's always like, it's such high expectations of everyone. And this is like the first time that Yoda's kind of just like, hey, you know what? You're human, and everyone makes mistakes and things. So I guess having like an authority figure like Yoda say that, this is the first time we see kind of like a kind Yoda who's telling you something for, you know, it's not about like Jedi powers. It's just about like your own mental health or whatever. I don't know. Right. I found it like, you know, especially Luke being all bedraggled and blaming himself for everything. I think it was a rare note of forgiveness from a Jedi in this kind of thing. So anyway,
yeah,
that's it.
Well, and it also, you know, it's not just, I don't know. I do like the. You're right. Embarrassing. What did you say? Embarrassingly moving.
Embarrassingly touching. Moving. I don't remember. Yeah.
In that we're getting, you know, like I guess like in response to what I just said before, like Rey doesn't really need the motivation. She's positive. She's out to do it anyway. She's gonna. It is Luke that needs the coaching, and it's great to see this moment between the two. You're right, and it's not, you know, it exactly what you said, that it's good to see not only Yoda being kind of kinder, gentler Yoda, but also that he's still kind of around to teach him. And right. Is it today? Was it where he says like, "Oh, I missed you," or did that already happen?
I think that was when he first met him. When he first said, "Young Skywalker."
Yeah,
but yeah. Do you think this is the first time have Yoda and Ghost Yoda and Luke interacted in between Return of the Jedi and now? Is this literally the first time he's seen him, or do you think they've had some?
It seems
check-ins
like they would have
before.
They would have had to, right?
Yeah, I think they hung out quite a bit. I think he often was asking Yoda for help with things before. When he was starting up his school, he was just like, "Hey, how does this work? Like, what do we charge admission? Like, what?" You know, like going through the whole thing about.
Do we watch the kids when they sleep, or do we not do that? Because
scanning sleeping children. I forgot what you said about that, because we've been doing it, and I don't. Is that good?
Well, what about Obi-Wan? Do you think he saw because I could see him being pissed at Ghost Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan.
So would Obi-Wan show up, or would he be like, "Oh, are you still mad at me, Luke?" You know, like I brought Force Ghost cake.
Yeah, and that was why I really thought, because to me it makes more sense that Obi-Wan would be the one to show up, though, kind of, because that's what we'd seen in the past already.
Yeah.
So that's why I really expected that to be a thing that was going to happen here.
Right.
Yeah, I thought maybe they'd show up together, much like the end of Return of the Jedi.
Right.
But yeah, it seems like Obi-Wan would have had to show up. But it seems like they would have regular communication. They're showing up, showing up fairly regularly in the original trilogy there, for as much as they could, I guess.
I think he would have, before Obi-Wan showed up, he would say, "Luke, now I'm going to look much younger than you remember me looking, so don't be frightened when you first see me." And then he's like, "What do you think?"
Obi-Wan?
Oh, it's Yoda and some guy I don't know.
Right. Well, again, then again, going back to that, like, would not the best person to show up to tell Luke, "Hey, you should believe in somebody who says there's still light in somebody who's turned to their dark side and they can be saved," would somebody who worships Darth Vader, would not the best person to show up and be like, "Hey, listen to that. You go do and go help them out because they're right about that." Wouldn't that be Anakin? Is it just purely like if the prequels had been better received, would that not be Anakin in this story, in this part of the story? Would this be a father-son moment? Would they have a catch?
I don't think it would work as well, or it might not work as well because Luke and Anakin never had any scenes together, whereas we see Mark Hamill and Yoda together, and it instantly evokes.
Right.
And I guess Anakin would raise so many questions about, again, like, this is the first time they've spoken or whatever, but I could see Anakin with Yoda and Obi-Wan, sort of a nice little return of that triumvirate from the end of Return of the Jedi.
That was the big thing you wanted for these movies, wasn't it, Alex? I feel like, weren't you predicting a Hayden Christensen appearance?
I wanted episode 9, and apparently it was filmed. They filmed a scene of all the Force ghosts,
oh, right.
but they decided not to use it. Yeah. There's that scene where Rey's all like struggling, and you hear all the Jedi saying like, "We're with you," but apparently they filmed everyone.
She's like, "I'm sorry, who are you?"
Are you a Lady Yoda?
That's so weird. What's with this pink one here? Well, that's a perfect segue into Tony. You said you brought your list of things that you were expecting from this movie.
Yeah. Okay.
Force
now
Ghost
again,
Yaddle, not one of them.
I pulled this up. I have not reread them. I have not read these in years. There's 5.
All right.
Although it literally there's 5, but let me peek behind the curtain for everybody. Now that I look at the list, it's numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. So,
all
right. So the first one, actually, in a way, this one's actually kind of right.
In a way,
the first shot is a fake out. It's not space. It fades up from a rock with Rey's hand on it, which is what happens in the trailer.
Right.
But I thought maybe they would try and do that as the opening instead of the pan down or pan up.
Right.
But then
the extreme close up on something instead of the.
Right. Yeah. So I know that was done.
A fake out. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that maybe they would try that in the movie, but then there is the deleted scene with the Finn's helmet.
The bubble opening.
Yes, looks like a planet. So kind of, sort of. There was at least they did try it. They tried
partial
to play
credit
with
for
it.
a deleted scene. We'll give you that.
Yes. I mean, it's not the same thing, but it's at least toying with the norm.
Please don't bring up the toys
or the norm.
Okay, and here's my already mentioned. We will see a Force Ghost, Obi-Wan, and or Yoda. Oh, wow, this one I don't know what this is all about. I don't even remember having this thought.
It says here, Mas Amedda will be naked. What?
Rey,
put little hearts next to it.
Rey will wear the Kylo Ren suit.
Oh.
I have no idea what my thought process was there.
I could see that. I could see you kind of see that in Rise of Skywalker. You see the evil Rey in that one.
Yeah.
Just for a second, yeah. That's so you're getting there. You're not totally far off.
Yeah. And then I said, and this is something that also has been discussed on this show. I don't know if I think I was early on this, but maybe not though. I said Snoke will be revealed to be Ezra Bridger.
Mm.
And then my last one is DJ. The D is for Darth.
Oh.
Darth Jar Jar.
Darth Join.
Darth Join.
That's a programming technique. We need to take two MySQL tables.
We should do this every time there's a new Star Wars movie now.
Write down our projections.
Yeah, write down our 5 things that we think will happen.
Again, I did not think I would be right, but I wanted to have that fun moment of if I was, because I think even the people that I went to see it with, I told them ahead of time. I was like, I made some predictions. I promise I won't. I won't change
them out
it
for each of
you. So yeah,
we did not see this. I didn't see this with either of you guys. Where did you see the movie and with whom?
I have, weirdly, The Force Awakens was the only one that I did not, of the new movies, that I didn't see here. And that was only because The Force Awakens was, that was such a thing when those tickets went on sale. It was kind of a scramble, and I just was like, I got to get whatever I can find. And I have seen every other new Star Wars movie in the same place, which is probably the lamest place in all of Los Angeles. I saw it at the Universal Studios, Universal City Walk. And the reason that I always go there, though, is because it is kind of the only true IMAX theater anywhere close. There's so many theaters that call themselves IMAX, but this is like the true IMAX with the really gigantic screen. So I've always tried to go for the IMAX when they come out. So, yeah.
Is that where we saw Rise of Skywalker, or is that a not true IMAX? You didn't go with us. Never mind.
No, I was just going to say, I didn't see that with you.
We were going to go, but you were on tour.
Okay. But yes, it is that. I think there are a couple of others, but they're a little further away from where I live. So yeah, I've always gone to that, and yeah, it's become kind of a thing. Always get like a handful of friends together and go see it on the IMAX. Former guest Todd Cooper has been one of the people pretty much every time. I think Solo was the only one he didn't come with to see, and I think he still has not seen Solo, and he refuses to.
We'll definitely have to have him on next season.
We should totally have him on for Solo.
He's like just so against it, and I'm like, I think there are a lot of people like, just give it a chance. It's if you give it a chance, it's fun.
Oh. Well,
we're not here to talk about that.
It is available on Blu-ray and digital. So I don't know why he wouldn't have seen it by now.
Right?
Well, that I have another question that I'll table for tomorrow. We get the end of this, right? Doesn't it? Yeah, the end of this scene happens tomorrow, and then we move into something else. So I'll table one more thing.
Do you want to tease us? Tell us what it is.
It's a question about the meaning of all this. What does it all mean? Wow. If I can quote Fiorello LaGuardia. But we'll get to that tomorrow.
All right.
Can you guys both come back tomorrow? Can I come back tomorrow? Can I come back tomorrow? Yes.
Yes, you may.
Okay.
If you can do it, I can do it.
That's the spirit.
Yeah.
Anything you can do, I can do better.
Well, here's the thing that we don't ever plug. But speaking of bizarre albums, we mentioned that Tony does our closing theme this season, but our opening theme for years has been Living in the Star Wars by Dan Whitley and his Rebel Force Band. And you can get that track by going to StarWarsMinute.com/theme. It'll take you to the... I'm not going to download it from our page. It'll take you to Amazon where you can buy it. I recommend the entire album. It is quite bizarre. But go get that, listen to it, meet us back here tomorrow for a brand new episode of Star Wars Minute.
Star Wars.